Good morning guys, how are we doing? I hope you're doing well. Well, this morning is day 55 on my run streak and I've come down to a beautiful part of West Sussex called Arundel, and we're going to be running around the castle grounds, Arundel Castle grounds, seeing a few things, Swanbourne Lake, High Tower, and then we'll do a bit of a loop, come up through the high street. I'll show you the cathedral and we'll be back at the car. So looking forward to take you on the way with me, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about how I'm keeping motivated through this run streak and something called a delayed gratification mindset. So let's go. So the first question I always get when I tell people that I'm on this run streak, running every day, is why? Why are you doing that? And then when I tell them that I'm actually doing it between 5 and 7 a.m. every single day as well, I think they're pretty sure that I've lost the plot and gone mad. But after they've asked why, oops, here we go, they then tell me I'm going to get injured, which, to be fair, I think that's what most people assume when you are perceived to be doing too much running. Sorry, I'm just going over a sty. And then once they've done that, they ask me how are you motivating yourself to get up every single morning and get out of bed and either go from home or jump in the car and go somewhere to run. And I say it's because I've managed to develop a delayed gratification mindset. And then they look at me as if I've gone properly mad and ask what I'm talking about. And that's what I want to talk about today, right? Because I'm under no illusions that what I'm doing at day 55 is quite unusual. And even most season runners don't. Just gonna stop here a sec. Even most seasons runners don't run every day. But there's plenty of examples of people that do. Plenty of examples of people that have even done it more than 1,000 days. And I think that if you make sure that you are getting recovery in, and for me I'm lucky that I've got a treadmill at home, so I can get recovery runs in, really nice and slow. And today, I mean, I'm stopping and starting. I'm not running fast, it's a trail run. You saw I was pretty much having to walk down the hill up there because it's so steep. So it's not as if I'm bombing about going as fast as I can every day. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'll talk a little bit about delayed gratification mindset, some of the things that I guess focused on in order to try and do that, and some of the things that may trip you up if you're starting on a journey, whether it be a run streak like I am on, or even if it's just trying to start something. It doesn't even have to be running, it's just start something. And some of the pitfalls, some of the psychological things that may come up along the way that you need to be aware of, and unfortunately have to just push through and get through in order to make it to your goals and your dreams. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We'll crack on and I'll catch up with you a little bit further up near Swanbourne Lake. So it's a bit of a fail this morning. You can notice that I've got this backpack on. It's because I brought the drone with me, and I did that because the forecast was for a lot of fog, and there is patches of it around, but it's not hugely foggy here, and the fog is quite high, so even with the drone, still difficult to get up past it. So that's why I've got the bag on today, and I'll try and get a few clips on the drone just to give it a different perspective. But It's not really going to be anything epic. Okay, we're at Swanbourne Lake now, so let's show you that. So there's no really two ways about it. If you want to start up something new, like running, especially if you run often, but you don't already have the fitness and the aerobic capacity, then it's going to hurt. It really is going to hurt. I remember when I first started running as part of my more recent health kick, the first 3, 4, maybe even longer weeks really hurt. When I was running, all I thought about was the fact I was running. All I thought about was how much my heart hurt, and all I thought about was how much I wanted to stop. And where I live, there's a loop that you can do that is only about 2.7 miles, and I couldn't do that without stopping a couple of times when I first started running. So it is going to hurt, and you have to have your eyes wide open to that, because if you think, it's going to be easy, that's one of the first pitfalls of starting something worthwhile. And again, it doesn't have to be running. Just because I'm running, it doesn't mean that everything is about running. But if you go into something that is, it's hard, and you think it's going to be easy, then it won't be long till you give up and realise that it's not easy. So it's really important that you know that if you are going to make a lifestyle change, a choice to change, a choice to work on yourself, and a choice to be better than what you were yesterday, and try and do that every day, then you've got to realise that it's going to be hard at first, and you've got to be prepared for that. And that's not just physically prepared, but much more mentally prepared. I'm just going to come into the car park over here so I can send the drone up and show you a bit of Arundel Castle. And if it's no good, actually, I've been here on mornings where the conditions were amazing with the drone, so I'll show you now. And if it isn't that good, I'll show you some of my old footage that's even better. One of the hardest things to get your mind around when you do start something new is that results will take a while to come. It may take a few weeks, it may take a few months, maybe even more than that. And that's where delayed gratification comes in. You have to train your mind to understand that what you do now and the work you put in now is going to pay off in 6 months. And especially if you create discipline and do things every day. Sorry if I'm a bit out of breath, but going up a bit of a hill here. But making sure that you do things repeatedly and understand that future you in 6 months is going to thank you for working so hard now. So back on topic, delayed gratification. So this is something I had to work super hard on early days, because it's human nature, right, to want to see results quickly, and it doesn't matter whether that's, you know, to do with running like I'm doing, and fitness and strength, but it doesn't really matter what it is. It could be, you know, you're working on your mental strength for a different reason. It could be that you're learning a new language, I don't know. But whatever it is, if it's worth doing, it's going to be hard. And human nature says that if you're doing something hard, then you want to see results quite quickly. And that's where people's motivation starts to fall off a cliff. Because if you're putting in the effort for whatever it is that you're doing, and you don't see results after, you know, 1 week, 2 weeks, or however long, then it becomes easy to become disheartened. And that's where you have to make a very definite distinction between motivation and discipline. Because discipline will keep you going. Discipline is what will tell your mind that it doesn't matter what you look like now. If you keep going, the results will come. And that's where so many people that start something new, and you hear about, you know, fad diets, for example. People that go on a diet and they lose a bit of weight, and then it becomes hard. So they stop, and then they put the weight on and probably even put more weight back on. And that's where discipline comes in and becomes so important. So, what did I do? How did I do that? Because I didn't always be someone that could look so long term. Well, I knew, much like when I talked about when I quit alcohol, that actually the hardest thing is getting your mind right. Understanding that if you've got the right mindset, you're probably 80% of the way there already in terms of achieving your goals, and the rest of it is just work. But if you're going with a wrong mindset, then you've got no chance really. You might stay motivated for a few days, a few weeks, even a few months, but eventually you will drop off the cliff. And back at the car now. And you will find yourself back with your old habits and feeling probably worse than you did before you engaged on that new activity, because you feel then a failure that you haven't achieved your goals as well. So it's so important to work on mindset. So this run was way shorter than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be probably about 4 or 5 miles. Turns out it's only 2.5 miles. So, but maybe that's not a bad thing, because I have got a race coming up at the weekend. So I do need to take it a little bit steady for this week. And I think that takes us up to about 13 miles for the week already. It's only Wednesday morning, so that's not too bad. Anyway, so back to topic. How did I create this stronger mindset than I used to have, let's say? I educated myself. I took the time to read and listen to audiobooks and read books about people that have been through challenging circumstances in life and have brought themselves back from adversity in order to excel and exceed in life. And I'll recommend a few books now. And to be honest, the first one I'd be amazed if many people have not heard of that might be watching this channel, because I think almost everyone that is into fitness and pushing themselves has heard of David Goggins. But if you haven't, David Goggins is quite an extraordinary guy, American guy, brought up in very, very difficult circumstances, a black guy living in an area just maybe 1 or 2 villages from where the KKK was formed, or is formed, and faced an awful lot of adversity through personal circumstance. He was, bullied and beaten up quite badly by his father, and just came through extraordinary difficulties, and made a decision, I think in his early 20s, to completely transform his life. He was way overweight and doing a fairly dead-end job. I think he was spraying for cockroaches in Dunkin' Donuts or something like that. And he made the decision after seeing a video of, I think, Navy SEALs, that he wanted to become a Navy SEAL and to go through something called Hell Week, which for us in the UK, probably not heard of that, but if you haven't, then when you read about it or hear about it, if you do decide to read some of these books, you'll just find it incredible. Anyway, I couldn't recommend highly enough reading about David's story and what he does and some of the things he does now. I mean, he's the first Afro-American to become a certain level in the Navy SEALs, I believe. He has done all sorts of things. I don't want to ruin the books, but if you do get the time, make sure you check him out. I think his first book is Can't Hurt Me, and the second is, I believe, called Never Finished. Both amazing and really, really inspirational. And if you read that or you listen to that on audiobook, you'll realise that your circumstances in life are not anywhere near as bad as they could be. And the second one is by a guy called Cameron Haynes. Very similar in terms of physical exerts and some of the things that he's overcome in life and some of the changes that he's been through. I think he's either American or Canadian, I can't remember which one of the two. And the topic of the book is actually about he's the best bow hunter in Canada or America, one of the two. But I'm not into hunting myself, so I didn't read the book to enjoy his stories about hunting, but some of the things that he does and some of the work that he does in order to become the best at what he does, and the effort that he puts in, and the practice, and the hours and hours and hours of just continuous repetitive work is really, really inspirational. And what he's managed to do, and the knockbacks that he's had in his life, but he still continued to push through them, is amazing. There's a few famous pictures of him actually back in the day before Lance Armstrong had become the person that he is recognised as today. There was a picture of them both doing, I believe, the Boston Marathon together, and Cameron basically ran the whole way with him, and Lance Armstrong said to him at the end that the only reason that he managed to get through in the time that he did was because of Cameron. So really, really inspirational, and for me, books like that really, really help. I'll put links to them for you guys, and it really helps, I guess, process what you have going on in your life and some of the excuses that you use in order to not do things. And ultimately, you can't read those books and not come away motivated to feel like you can do better than what you do now. So I did that. I worked on my own mindset. I challenged myself to really look at myself in the mirror and say, hey, are you creating excuses for yourself? Are you just doing things or saying things that are just excuses to stop you actually being the best version of yourself, or is there real reasons? And when you actually look at it and you be honest with yourself, almost all the reasons that you have for not doing what you want to do are just excuses. It's just human nature is to find the easiest way to do things, the easiest way to not have to do hard work, and the easiest way to achieve the minimum to be happy, I guess. And that's where a certain subset of people will break the mold. They will say, do you know what, I'm not happy with just the bare minimum of being happy. I want to excel in life. I want to be someone that is considered in the top bracket of people, the people that really push the boundaries of what's possible. And coming full circle, that's a lot of the reason I'm doing this. everyday running, because almost no one, there's only maybe one or two guys that I know that are doing run streaks like I'm doing, and they're a bit further along than me, but almost no one does it. And I want to push my boundaries. I want to be challenging myself so hard. I want to be waking up in the morning early and coming out and getting things like this done and starting the day in the right way, and not allowing excuses to come into it, not allowing myself to hit that snooze button in the morning, not allowing myself to feel like I'm tired, not allowing myself to create excuses as to why I don't have to do something. You don't get to the point where you can consider yourself different, which is what I'm trying to do. I want to be different to everybody else, and you don't get there if you don't want to do the work. So, coming back, as I said, full circle to this, why are we on day 55 and why am I doing it? That's the reason. I want to be considered somebody that challenges the norm, someone that breaks the mold, somebody that when people think about, right, who do you know that works their arse off, who do you know that doesn't settle for easy, I want people to think about me. I want people to think about, hey, that guy that used to be a bit of a funster, that used to be on the piss all the time, that used to be overweight, but hey, he was a little bit of fun. He wasn't having fun, not inside. He was unhappy, he was desperately unhappy, and he no longer exists, thankfully for me. And I'm grateful for what that old version of myself did for me, and I'm grateful certainly of the old me 3 years ago that made the decision that life needed to be different. And I guess lastly, reflecting back, don't beat yourself up about choices that you've made in the past. Nobody lives in the past. You shouldn't live in the past anyway. All that really matters is the now. You can't change the past, and you don't know the future. The only thing you know is now. So really all you can influence is the right now, and that's what I'm always focused on, is what can I do today to make me feel like I'm better than I did yesterday. So I'm going to close out the video here. At the weekend we're doing the Gatwick 10k. A few people that I know that are going to be there, so I'm looking forward to that. And we're going to be pacing my son to try and beat his personal best for 10k. So I'm going to be pushing him through and looking forward to giving him a little bit of encouragement and incentive around the course. It's going to be fun, and I look forward to seeing you there. So until then, I wish you a good day and take care, and see you on the next one.